Today should be a pretty straightforward and easy day, because it's only day 40, and we have 9 out of the 8 required for the temperance. The rest of what I have planned is not gonna be. So, hang on tight, we might be in for a rough landing, but in the meantime, I do want to check out our new abnormality. Hi there. You're weird. I was gonna say different, but you're weird. I can't help it. What is this thing? Oh, good. It's an olive. Or at least a war, which is good. I need more powerful abnormalities. I really do. I joke sometimes about not being able to handle these things, and I really can't until I know something about them. But honestly, the more powerful things I can have, the better off I can be, because my plan today is try to bring down the White Knight. Not today, as in day 40. I'm doing this mission. I'm moving on to the next day. That's going to give me a memory repository. I'm going to complete it on a memory repository day. That way I don't lose any progress. See? I'm thinking. I have strategy again. It never works, but I can try. Not only that, but the days are getting longer. The boxes, the requirements for all of this, it's getting a little intense, which means that we're going to have to be going pretty deep in most of these days. Oh well, what's the worst that can happen? Right? Yep, that's an olive. Hopefully good days aren't bad days with this thing. It also really likes manager for some reason. I don't know, but that's me, so as long as it likes me, I could care less. It also seems to do just red damage. I think it does red damage, which is amazing because that's what I've been missing out of my arsenal of olive gear is red damage. I have a crap load of white. I think I have a couple black. Yeah, Derfray shoots, that's technically an olive when you have the pipe. And, I mean, I'm counting it, even though it's not. And the, Melting Love Jar of Goo. I was trying to think of a better way to explain that, but there isn't. So, that's what it is. This thing makes weird noises in my ear, too. God, that's disgusting. And I love every second of it, but this thing is definitely an olive. I need these desperately. In fact, can I get all of them? No, not even close. I'm gonna need at least one more work. So, let's learn something about our collage of crabs. The lower the working employee's fortitude, the lower the success rate was, and the less stable the work was. Cool, I guess. When an employee whose justice was lower than level 4 completed the work, the Quiplov counter decreased. Well, for starters, they've never said decreased before. It was always lowered. So that's weird. I don't like that. But on top of it, so you need definitely max level everything to work with this thing. Neville, who was in the containment unit, was killed by this thing? Suddenly, this thing changed into Neville. The same instance occurred when another employee had panicked. So nobody needs to panic, and nobody needs to get the got. Because if they get the got, then unfortunately for them, I have to deal with a collage of crabs that now looks like them. And most of our little ones are ugly enough as is. They don't need an arm growing out of their forehead on top of it. When the work result was bad, Yum Yum was attacked and turned into this thing's shell? Like a turtle? Or like a crab shell? Like it fused. It was part of it. I don't know, whatever, but no bad work results. Got it. Employees of fortitude level 3 or lower immediately panicked when entered. It is recommended that employees lower than fortitude level 4 never be sent to work with this thing. Well, you're in luck because I only have 1 down here, and they are more than prepared to deal with that. So, yeah, okay. As long as we do instinct and only do certain amounts of work with that for maybe when it's not a -6, then it's pretty easy and straightforward, it seems like. Quick update. I did learn a few things about this abnormality. The collage of crabs. Employees of oh no, we saw this one, right? It's these 2 that I unlocked. When Summer, who witnessed this thing's human appearance, fell into a panic, they became this thing's new shell. At the same time, the Quiplov counter lowered. So if they transform into someone very concerning and they panic, and if they panic, they also become part of the shell. and they get, I don't know. So apparently you have to have people in here who are mentally very stable if anything goes wrong with this thing. Otherwise, just do the one work, make sure you have a good day, leave it alone, and then just move on. That's what I've been doing anyway, and it's working so far. Now, when the Quiplaw counter reaches 0, this thing taking the appearance of the dead Gemignano? I don't know how to say that. Appeared, the dead G, disappeared from its containment unit. The manager must quickly find and execution bullet this thing in its disguised appearance. I've never had one of them where I couldn't suppress them, that I actually have to like pick them out and find them. And it's really cool that they're disguised, because if I don't notice it and they get out, I am screwed. The one good thing, though, is I'm only ever sending one person into this. So if I notice Diva's gone, and suddenly there's a Diva in a spot where Diva should not be, obviously that's not Diva. So just whisk them away into Hakma's area and let them sleep until the next day. Now, escape information might be good to know about this thing. Because if it does get out, which apparently it's very unspecified as to what damage is done, and it has a maximum Quiplaw counter of 1, which means if you upset this thing at all, it's out, just like the Scarecrow. That's what makes these ones so terrifying sometimes. Oh God, Instinct isn't even really good with this thing. What about Repression? Repression is even worse with this thing. Good to know, because I wanted to do Repression work. But I've been just sticking to Instincts because anything that's natural or like strange looking, it feels instinctive, not very intelligent or like heartwarming and like hug me. Also, anything that does red damage, I've noticed, loves Instinct. And anything that is like red even, it predominantly likes Instinct. So the wolf with like the blood and it being a natural thing, it likes Instinct. That's what I've kind of been piecing together so far. Each one of these there's a reason why it likes the work it likes. Something like that. It makes sense in my head. I'm sorry. I'm describing it horribly like I normally do, but I knew it would like Instinct and it did. So I'm happy. That's all I'm trying to say. Now, this noon should hopefully not affect me all that much, and I'll just kind of move my way to the end of this day. I'm probably not going to max this thing out, but if I figure out its name, I'll tell you what it is. I'm sure a lot of people already know, but it's funky, and I'm still probably going to call it the Collage of Crabs, like I normally do, but maybe I will pick its real name if it's anything good or interesting. Because whatever this thing is, it's a mess. So we already learned all of the managerial stuff. We know the Repression does not do well with this. Instinct is fine with it. Insight is not good. And Attachment is actually fairly decent, which is not bad. That's actually pretty good for me. We have an improved work success chance now and work speed. And once I click on this, work success chance will go up again. Oh my God, this is the thing! Oh my God, this is the sword! The sword that Gabora was, the Red Mist. This is what the Red Mist was wielding. Oh my God! Oh, I love it. Not only that, but honestly, this is some pretty decent, fast-hitting, medium-range red damage. That's awesome. On top of that, though, the gift, the mimicry, HP plus 10, that's amazing. But increases the amount of HP healed from any source by 5%, and Diva has the necklace from the Child of the Galaxy. So they get insane healing on top of the, the Yasad healing, or I don't know, one of the other ones are already healing us a lot. So we have increased healing, and they get healed over time. And if I give them the giant tree sap, they'd be an unstoppable force. I need this. I need this bad. Diva is about to get a major upgrade. It's actually probably one of my best picks in a while. because it's fairly simple to work with this thing. Why does it have a 2? It has a maximum of 1. Why is that a 2? Should I be scared of that? Wait, is that... What is this doing? Oh god, that department's dead. This department's dead. Why does that have a 2? I'm gonna ignore it, and I'm gonna assume everything is just fine. Day's done, mission's done, and honestly, we've had quite a bit of growth. I'm slowly trying to amass as many gifts as I can get. But more importantly, this is the end of day 40, and our record team mission is finished. Time to see some new lore! Oh, I love it. Day 41. Man, it really wants me to pick Letitia, and I don't want to, just because I know it's kind of weak. Although, arguably, as of right now, I probably do need to mix in some weaker ones. So I have quite a few really dangerous olives down there. So we'll see. The smiling faces are unfamiliar, yet sorrowful. Maybe not. Unsurprisingly, not a single employee volunteered to retrieve the corpse of their cocooned colleague. I kind of like this one, only because it sounds kind of powerful. If no one was going to volunteer to go in there, because Nicole or Haru would obviously just waltz right in, grab the cocooned colleague, and walk out. So not a big deal. I like that. I'm picking that one. That one's probably going to be super weak, but we'll see. More importantly than picking a strong abnormality, I need to figure out what day 41's all about, because we're getting close to the memory repository. They say the world was a place where one couldn't find happiness with their own way of life anymore. That it was a world where everyone had to fool themselves into thinking that fitting into a structured mold was happiness. Oh god, kind of feels like right now. This is the future, which means that things don't change. Oh, nobody sought history or religion anymore. No one needed those pillars. Under the guise of new innovations that were needed in the world, companies emerged using technologies known as singularity. So companies sort of filled the void of learning about histories or religions. You believe in the company, and you have blind faith in the company. I see. But that also leads to a point where people don't question any of these things, which is probably what the companies want. My god. Production of a permanent food supply, the manufacturing of customized living creatures, transport of cargo at speeds that would seem like teleportation, artificial intelligence that was more real than people, the technology to preserve the present by binding time. Etalia. And that's what this thing is? Is this one of the things that they created? This thing is biblically accurate angel, is what I would describe this as. What the heck is it? It probably a conduit of power, more than likely. Also, possibly a representation of what the body, the head, the eye, and the wings are supposed to be. So like each company is represented by one of the wings. And it supports the main body, which is, I don't know yet. Obviously another company, but this is either just a massive metaphor, or this is one of the things that was created or came from, or to the company. In one way, shape, or form, this has something to do with it. The strange thing is they control time. They bind it. So they preserve the present. I mean, not all that bad, but you really need to worry about overpopulation when no one can age. I would say no one can die, but we've seen them just... Oh? Hold on. I just thought of something. If no one ages, obviously no one dies from old age. And diseases that would take a long time, like cancers, and things that develop would never develop. So people aren't dying from those sorts of diseases. Now, people could still have poor diet and poor exercise, and over time, even though time doesn't pass, over time, they would still, unless they don't have to eat. Do they not have to eat because time doesn't pass? Okay, assuming everything for normal people work regularly, Certain diseases would still affect them. Certain diseases would not. So we would be losing a lot less people. Overpopulation would become a problem. So thinning them out by turning them into an energy source would actually be a viable way to combat overpopulation. As much as it seems cruel and unusual, that might be one of the purposes for the company, is to be rid of certain people. I don't know. I have no idea how this works. Similar to the food chain, small companies began to disappear, or were eaten by the larger companies. At some point, they were called the wings of the world, and soon a head rose to control those wings. Yep, okay, metaphor time. Totally got this. Totally guessed that. People started to derive their purpose for existence from belonging to the wings. However, the truth was, everyone was slowly melting like the wings of Icarus. They may appear to be encouraging the development of the world for the better, but their nature is no different from ours. There's always a price to pay. Any sane person would know that the deeds the wings commit in the name of the betterment of society are in fact the most humiliating aspect of these corporations. They are the disgrace of the world and its people. Lobotomy corporations rival energy corporations aren't that different from us, I presume. Who knows? Maybe they really are twisting dimensions to garner energy from hell, as the rumors say. Doom, is that you? What? Okay, well, maybe. In every man, the two instincts, the primal essence of life and death, coexist. The wings only guided our instinct of life. However, if one instinct were to dominate too much, the other would begin to make its move, slowly and unbeknownst to us, from the depths. Soon, a world where everyone wants to return to nothing will arrive, into the stillness of silence before the birth of mankind. She who loved sunshine, who wanted to give hope to mankind, but failed. When the hand that only wanted to embrace humanity with warmth was ruthlessly severed, you clutched the void and saw the crack between the boundaries that were never shown to others. Left alone, you decided to instill possibility and potential into all mankind. Hope and despair are intertwined in that possibility, making it impossible for anyone to know the answer. If all repressed things can be extracted from the earth, you said to yourself. In those days, you looked absolutely terrible. Many coworkers, friends, were worried about you and tried to comfort you, but you didn't care. You wouldn't listen to anything anyone said. I guess you still needed them at some point, though, seeing as you were the one who locked them away in here, barely holding on to the husks of their dead bodies. Oh boy, how fun. I guess. Okay, good news. That explains a lot. And also, good news, I'm at 3 and this will be 3. But that means these are my last 3 suppressions, if I'm remembering correctly. Which is perfect. But that's not what I'm after today. I need to expand this. I'll have to expand one and then the other in order to finish the missions and start the suppressions. But I think I'm pretty much ready for those. I think I'm ready for those suppressions whenever I'm ready to expand. Now this, I'm pretty sure is going to be a memory repository day. Well, first off, limit break for my fortitude, which is really the only thing I can get. But yeah, let's do this one. There! Memory repository. Imprinted. Perfect. This is a flawless day for this. On top of that, I have 29 lobotomy points. It's a lot of lobotomy points. I'm going to be maxing out a few people, and I'm going to be moving some people around. Obviously, this is kind of just, do whatever you want kind of day. Who am I kidding? Day 41 is all about trying to see if I'm powerful enough to bring down the White Knight. But that means I have to move anyone that's got the benediction, anyone who has that blessing, out of here. And I need to start maxing out anyone who doesn't and getting them ready for all of the damage that's going to be coming their way. I know I'm not going to be able to suppress this thing. I'm going to try, but I know it's not going to work. And when it doesn't work, I'll at least have a good understanding about how far away I am from it. That's what I want. That's what today is all about, is figuring how much further I have to go before I can actually viably start attacking some of these upper units. Because if I can defeat the White Knight, get its weapon, the Midnights, I think, will just turn to tissue paper. I think I'll be okay from there. This is the new one I picked. It doesn't seem all that strong. It's kind of scary, though. You can tell there's, like, little spiders crawling around in there. My guess, that's not the abnormality. The abnormality's up here in the shadows. Oh my god, I know what one this is. This is another one of the weapons that the Red Mist used. You can kind of see it. It's like, it has many eyes and it's all dark and stuff. It's like the one that looked like a mace with eyes on it with 1 in 100. So this is super weak, but it's fun to see that I've been getting a lot more of the Red Mist one. In fact, I have 2 sitting right next to each other, especially since it's super weak. So employees with prudence level 1 squash the spiderlings and turn those who harmed its children into cocoons. No, don't smush them. When cleaning the unit, what? Do as part of insight work, Dakota was quickly turned into a cocoon. So you clean it? If you do insight work? I didn't know that. Well, no insight work, so don't do that. Cocoons produce boxes? Additional cocoons mean a greater number of boxes. So you can, like, sacrifice the people. Otherwise, just do instinct work with this thing. It'll be fine. Again, it seemed natural, so instinct seemed perfect. I don't know if anything weird happens on top of that. It doesn't look that way. So, cool. I could just hop right back in there and do another instinct work with it. In fact, I'm probably gonna. On top of that, I realized something. Who cares if Army and the Monk get out? Because they're the only ones who care if all the clerks get got. Because the second that the White Knight pops, it's going to be doing massive amounts of pale damage all over this entire facility. The only time that becomes a problem is if, by some chance, Army is in the same hallway as everyone else. Oh god, and I can't pause time either. I'm going to have to be aware of that. No pausing time, only movement. So I'll have to time everything. I'll have to get into a rhythm and a flow. That way I can go back between these. Or maybe even over here would be better. Over here is going to be perfect. Even though they'll have a long stretch that they'll have to run through once the rabbits are done. Because I'm assuming the White Knight will be in here. I don't know. I'll figure it out once we let that thing out. As of right now, I'm done doing work with it. It will slowly release itself. Everyone else who's kind of sort of done needs to start making their way up. Yeah, I guess here. This for some reason, keeping people on the left-hand side seems to work better for me. This is the longest I've had to wait for this thing. Normally, I forget about it, and it just magically pops out, and I have to restart my day. If there's ever a time that you're watching a video, and I'm on a certain day with a certain dawn, and all of a sudden, I'm on a different day with a different dawn, and you're like, did they have to restart? Yes. Yes, I completely forgot to send a Sarah into this thing. It got out, and I just instantly restart. But I've done that so much that I've stopped talking about it because otherwise it would be every episode. Now I'm purposely doing this, and it's a lot more scary when you're doing it on purpose. Please just go. Yes! I mean, this sucks, but yes! What? Oh god. What? Bong bong. What? Okay, Queen of Hatred's out. Cool. No! What is going on? Sarah, run. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. What happened? Gary? Knox? Bong bong? What? Delilah? Dia? They all came back? Do I even have anyone who's alive still? Apparently, Sarah is the one that got the gift. Yui has gone crazy. Oh my god, I do actually have someone who's alive. Get over here! Over here! It's the person I forgot that was down there. Oh my god. Diva! It's Diva! Wow. No, well, that's it, right? That's all my employees? Game over? Yeah, everyone is gone. They instantly died. Which, you know what really sucks? A lot of mine who don't have the benedictions still transformed. But the good news is we saw just how strong some of our agents are, because obviously we were the ones that did that much damage to these things. I can also call in the rabbits to the control team. They just did pale damage, so maybe the rabbits will be okay for a little while. No, they get one shot by the angels. How am I supposed to deal with... Oh my god! Okay, whatever that angel was doing was not strong enough to handle those rabbits. So I think we're not okay, but so far it's not the worst thing that's ever happened either. Wow, it feels like red is the only one that can really do much. Come on, rabbits, do something. At least bring down these angels, please. No, that's it. They're gone too. There is absolutely nothing I can do. And what's really wild to me... Oh, wow. Oh, the Clouded Monk! The Clouded Monk is actually one of the most powerful units I could let out because it one-shots anything. It just has to sort of be in the right room. People were also saying that if you go to 1 in 100, you can confess. Okay. And then all you have to do is... Oh, it's a Sarah who has to confess. But they say you don't get the weapon. I'm guessing it's this mask that they're currently wearing. They would be gifted that mask, and they would have to probably give up the mask if they go and confess to 1 in 100. So that's not going to work. I don't want to do that, especially since I've already lost everybody. There's no benefit at this point. I can't do work with anyone else, and Sarah can't go down here and do work. So we survived for a minute, but not any more than that. So I have a few plans on how to actually beat the White Knight. But like I suspected, I'm not ready yet. But I have more information now, which is, do not fear for what? Thou shalt not leave until I permit thee? Excuse you, but okay, fine. Oh, I know why. Because I could rewind to the memory repository and keep the mask if I don't get rid of it. Go on. Get rid of the mask. I'm retrying this day. Well, actually, I might not even worry about this day. Whipple-off meltdown. Oh, yeah. That's down here. Confess. Get rid of this thing. I have... Look. Oh my god. Oh my god! My whole team is gone, but I would trust it. Wow. Goodbye. Oh my god. Well, they take care of themselves too, don't they? Aw. Look at that. Isn't it beautiful? The sun rays shining through. We got to see what actually happens once you confess. We got to see what happens when I try at beating that thing. We know that we can't take anyone that's ever been blessed, even if they don't have the benediction, which sucks. And we also know that I am not ready for that yet. In fact, I don't know if I'll ever be ready for that for a little while. I'm definitely going to have to get all of the remaining Olaf gear. Even if the weapons aren't the best, I at least need the outfits. I have to be able to withstand that much pale damage. And that much just damage from the angels themselves. So I guess I'll try that some other time. But right now, I'm going to focus on unlocking these next missions and try my best to unlock the next suppressions. in the next episode. So thank you so much for watching this one, and remember to take care, and goodbye!